In this video, we will show you how to make the madeleine. It all came over by the Duke Lazinski in 1755 having a banquet in his castle and a very bad day at the same time. After a dispute, the cook had left, leaving no dessert to be served. A young parlour maid, Madeleine Palmer, offered to make a cake from the recipe of her grandmother. Having no other choice, the Duke accepted. The guest was so delighted that the Duke decided to introduce Madeleine to them, and that's why the cake was named after her. The Madeleine recipe spread to Versailles and has been famous ever since.
For the ingredients, what we're using is 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of sugar, 40 grams of almond, grounded almond, 2 eggs, 10 grams of vanilla, and 3 grams of baking powder and 100 grams of butter. What we do, we put the butter into our saucepan with our ground almond. What we're going to do, we're going to melt the butter gently. We don't bring it to a boil or a simmer. Mix it gently so the almonds and the butter mix in nicely together. So here you can see the butter is nicely melted. We've mixed in nicely with crushed grated almonds. Now it's ready to put into our mixture. So what we're going to do now, we're going to sieve our flour with our baking powder. So we remove all the lumps and we mix well the baking powder in the flour. So we put our sieve on the top, put our flour down, we put our baking powder on the top. And you just gently sieve it. If you're going to do a professional competition, well then you would sieve this 3 or 4 times. There you go, now it's ready to add to the mix. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add our eggs and our sugar into our mixing bowl. What we do first is add our sugar. Then we add our 2 eggs. With a whisker, we just mix it all together first. So to make sure it's all mixed together nicely before we whisk it together so it comes nice and light. There we go. Well, now we're going to put it onto our mixer. We use our whisker because we want to whisk the eggs and sugar together so we get as much air as possible into our eggs. And then it comes a nice light colour, but this time we have to make sure we have it at a high speed. Now you can see it's nice and light and fluffy. It's almost very light yellow. So it's now ready to add the rest of the ingredients. So now we add vanilla essence. You just give it a quick tour. So melange as well. And we add slowly butter and almonds. It incorporates very well into our batter. Now we add gently and slowly our flour. Now our mixture is ready, but what we have to do now, this is the secret of making good madeleine, is that you now have to let it rest in the fridge for the minimum of 2 hours. So you can make this the day before and leave it for 12, 18, 24 hours, or you can make it in the morning for something in the afternoon. Well, it's now been 2 hours. We're going to take cake mix out of the fridge. So now it's been 2 hours. You can see our mixture is nice and hard. It's set nicely, so it's ready to pipe. It's very important, I can't stress this enough, that you leave it for the minimum of 2 hours. The mould I use is a silicone mould which you can find on the description below. Be careful when you buy your mould. Make sure you don't buy the first price, because you can only use them once or twice, and afterwards they're no good. For me to fill up the moulds, I use a piping bag. It's a lot easier than using spoons, and it's a lot less messier. What you do is take your bag and you fold it down 1/3. You can see with the square here. Then to stop the mixture from falling out the end, if you take a ball clip, fold the end over like this and clip it. Now you can put your mixture in without anything falling out. So you hold it like this, as if you're holding a cup. And you take your mixture with your scraper and you throw it down the middle. Then you just lift the top up, still leave the ball clip at the bottom, push it down. When you like this, you just turn it around. So now the mixture can only go downwards, it can't go back up, all over your hand and all over the table. Now you're ready, you take the ball clip off. Now we can pipe our moulds. Now to fill our moulds, we take a piping bag, we lift it straight up and we just squeeze gently at the top and we fill it in nicely. And then when we get to the end, we stop squeezing and we go the other way, so we make a small little tail. So squeeze the mixture in, just to the end, stop squeezing and move it to the middle. Squeeze, stop, pull up. And then as the bag starts to empty, you just push the bits down, return it around, so you always keep the top tight, and refill again. And you push, using this part of your hand, you push it downwards. Now we've done one side, we turn it round 180 degrees, and now we fill in the other side. The same. Push, stop, pull up. Push, stop, pull up. It's been a long time I've been making these, and so it looks very easy, but I assure you after a little bit of practice, you'll be just as good as me. Now you can see our mould is nicely filled in. Now we're going to put it in the oven. We preheat the oven to 200 degrees. It's very important you preheat your oven. And then we bake them for 10 minutes. Here you can see our madeleines are nicely baked. What we do, we take them quickly out of the mould so they stay nice and soft and great to eat. And you can see we've got a nice good dome on the top. This is where we've rested our dough, and this is a good traditional French madeleine. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what French recipe you would like us to try out next. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date of our next video when it comes out. Well, thanks for watching, and hope to see you again very soon.
As you can see, the madeleines are very easy to make, and if you want to decorate them, as you can see in these pictures, then click onto our film on how to decorate small cakes.